What's up, fuckers? It's your boy Jack Slack, Fights Gone By podcast, sort of. We're doing something different today. I've done it before. I released it on my website, fightprimer.com, as like an article, or rather a post, But because I'm a writer with a book, it's actually just an article. But it was basically alternate commentaries, which people have often asked me to do, seem to be received pretty well, and because there isn't an awful lot going on at the moment, I thought, why not do some more? One of the wonderful things about this quarantine is that the UFC is putting out a good stream of free fights on their YouTube page. Bellator also puts out a good stream of free fights anyway, and One puts out all their fights on YouTube, which is awesome if you like watching fights, but not a monetizable business model for the most part, which is what they're finding. However, it plays into our hands. So what we're going to do today is look at some of those. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to do it as a podcast for the podcast listeners, but I'll also split it up and put it with the embedded videos on my website, thefightprimer.com. You can go have a look at that there if that's your preferred method. This isn't going to be the sort of podcast you're going to enjoy, having a run or a walk to probably. But like I said, all the videos, I think every single one is on YouTube. I'm going to link them all in the comments. All you got to do is find the point where I say I'm going to start the fight, and I'll count you in. We'll go 3, 2, 1, go. We're not going on one, we're going on go. And let's enjoy some fucking fights. And then I'll do some extras for the Patreon boys as well. We've got some fun ones lined up. I won't announce them up front, but they'll be in the video description, so you can find them as and when you get to them, and then we can all be a little bit surprised as we go on. But we are going to start with the obvious headliner of our 4-fight package, and that's Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz, number 1. Get all the rubes in with that fight, and then we'll drop some serious knowledge on them later with an old Pride classic. But thankfully, the UFC in their recent uploads of free fights, that is, have put basically the start of the fight as the start of the video, which, we love. So boot up that video now, pause it on the very first second of the video. We're going from 0, 0, 0, and 3, 2, 1, go. Right, obviously this was a replacement after Rafael dos Anjos dropped out of this fight, wasn't it? It was supposed to be the lightweight title fight. McGregor comes out orthodox, switches to southpaw, switches back again. Nate Diaz, obviously the longer man, throws his inside kick. Conor McGregor tries to counter with a left hand to the head. The lead leg kicking game of Diaz has always been a bit weird because he can't check kicks very well, but he does do well like answering back with front kicks and things. McGregor already going for the oblique kick to the lead leg. Oh, capoeira wheel kick with the hand to the floor, but gets pushed to the fence. Nate Diaz very good with the head pin when he gets his head on their jaw and has the single underhook and starts hitting you with like short punches. The Cain Velasquez favourite. Oh, the shoulder strike. So clearly McGregor invented it years before he used it on Donald Cerrone, and none of us had ever seen it then either. Beautiful escape with the collar tie there. Inside counter there. Parried with the lead hand on the inside of Diaz's jab and fired the left hand over the top. He went for it there too. He lands that a lot in the second fight. Diaz going high guard, which is always a good answer if you're struggling. It's just sort of annoying each other's lead legs here. Inside hand trap there rather than a parry. Being proactive rather than reactive. Always interesting to watch McGregor fight people who he had a height and reach disadvantage against, because that was the big criticism at featherweight. He was a giant fighting midgets. Oh, booming overhand there, just clips Diaz. Diaz leaning back with like a slap, but that, it's as good as a check hook. He's not closing his hand, but he's getting his eye in, or rather his feel in. McGregor putting his head out there, trying to throw that left hand across the top of the jab. Interesting Taekwondo style high kick there from McGregor. That'd be interesting to see him add that more to his game, but he doesn't fight a lot of southpaws either, so that's not coming in on the open side against most of his opponents. You can see him really leaning with these punches too, like that one. That, to be honest, that even caught Floyd Mayweather out a little bit because it's not the right way to throw a left hand, but he will throw his left hand like leaning well forward at the waist with his shoulders about 2 feet forward of his hips. Nice low kick there, the plague of the Diaz brothers. Bit of milling at the hands there from Nate. That oblique kick, he's not landing that often, but it looks like it could really hurt if you take it on the side of the knee. Another nice wheel kick attempt. That is a good counter uppercut. And that's something that they said they were working on for Dos Anjos, because Kavanagh was calling for that all the time, and Owen Roddy. Which would have been interesting. That would have been a really interesting fight to get those two, because Dos Anjos was just melting everyone with pressure at the time. Lovely counter left hand from McGregor there. Backs Diaz up. There's the uppercut again as he comes in. But against a really heavy pressure fighter like Dos Anjos, that uppercut might have been a real nightmare. Left hand connects again over the top. Oh, there you go. Across the top of the jab like he's been looking for the entire fight. Checking left slap there, and then a left hook behind, right hook behind it. This is where Diaz is starting to get his eye in a little bit. You can see he's leaning back with these left hands and taking a lot off them. A lot is made of rolling with punches, with Tony Ferguson and all that, but Diaz is pretty good generally at taking the stank off blows, especially if you, right on the side of the knee like I was talking about. That's so nasty. Those are the ones that really worry me with those straight kicks to the knee. Not so much on the front of the leg, but on the side, for guys who fight toed in, like Diaz here. But as I say that, Diaz is now starting to land. Oh, wow, that was a good left hand, though. He's starting to land more effectively on McGregor. And McGregor's looking a lot more one note. That was a good pull counter. But the jab to the chin afterwards by Diaz. Nice 1-2. Lead uppercut leaping in, the old Naz special. Fucking uppercut from a mile away there from McGregor. Nice takedown off, and nice X guard entry there. Overhook X, and he caught the far ankle and was able to come up on top. I mean, yeah, people did put far too much stock in that at the time, but it wasn't bad to be able to, easily pick up both legs and sweep a Diaz brother. Hard to land effectively from the top, though, especially if you're a much smaller man, or a slightly smaller man. I'm not going to buy into that like Nate was 200 pounds bullshit. But yeah, really hasn't landed anything effective there. And Nate not bad at going upside down either. Like, there is a great clip of him, I think, knee barring Ryan Hall back in the day, back when Ryan Hall was coming up through the ranks. What we got in the replays? Yeah, look, reaching for the hand there. And again, Diaz just getting slightly out of the way, leaning back. Lovely left hand as Diaz comes in. Yeah, I mean, that's the story of the fight. McGregor's trying to land his left over the top of Diaz's right. Diaz is trying to lean back with the left and slap him with the right. You get bummed out by all the talking and the negotiations and things, but it is funner having Nate Diaz around than it is without him. And McGregor too, Is that Artem behind him? A very young looking Artem. And it's only been a couple of years. You can tell because of the incredibly short arms. Nate Diaz cut up, as is tradition. Those tattoos really are fucking awful, aren't they? And off we go. Immediately tries to stamp on Diaz's lead leg. Nice switch of stance and a wheel kick to the body. Like it. Very capoeira to step back and then step forward again with the kick. Again, looking for the big left hand. Leans, gets slapped with the right hook. That's starting to concern you because Diaz is getting his eye in, even if he's just slapping you. That's that lead leg high kick again. Really like that. McGregor, when kicking, a lot more fun. And it really nice left hand. It really distracts, and that's the lead hand uppercut to the body shot. That's a Gennady Golovkin favourite. But it really distracts from the punches, even if you're just doing showy kicks. He's looking for the inside parry. Look at him. He wants to slap that lead hand out of the way and throw the left hand. Yeah, left hand there, beautiful. Back kick. This is nice counter left hand, but it looked like Diaz rolled with it. Nice uppercut on the inside. This is what McGregor did really well, pressuring people and counterpunching as they lashed out at him while he was going forwards. Nice tie-up by Diaz there. That's really well timed. And he's hand across the hips, keeping the knees back. Lovely. There's the head pin, but he hasn't got the underhook, and McGregor escapes out the side. Lovely. Uppercut, but Diaz was quite upright there. Oh, left hand across the top. That caught him. Nice jab. Jab from Diaz. Doing that rolling at the hands. Oh, left hand again. He's really looking for that left uppercut on the inside now. He's expecting Nate to duck down into it. Oh, left hand across the top again. I mean, Diaz is crisp and rolls with punches really well, but that was good. A lot of this is on his chin. Like, you're not going to be able to do this if you don't have an incredible chin. Nice jab, caught him loading up there. Jab and pull away. Diaz is getting his eye in now. Oh, that's a lovely lead hand uppercut. You're actually seeing a lot more variety from McGregor than you normally get, to be honest. Or certainly nowadays. Another nice lead hand uppercut. He uppercutted him with the rear hand on the elbow there, though. That's not fun. Oh, there we go. Caught him as he was loading up that uppercut behind him again. Now McGregor's in trouble. Yep, play it off. You've got to play it off. Another 1-2. They're really sort of slappy 1-2. Looking for those big uppercuts again. Slap. Slapped you. 1-2-3, lovely. Another jab. This is the stuff you want to be doing if you've got someone hurt. Just keep up. Doesn't need to be big punches. Just keep it up. Because if he's slipping everyone, like making a big move. There you go. Head pin and underhook. Lovely. And I'm always surprised how much he could... Oh, lovely knee. How much he was able to really put on McGregor from this position. Because those punches shouldn't be a big deal. But he really does just smash in McGregor's nose there. Wrist on the hip. That's... Now that whole thing is going to become a huge thing in the second fight. This is nice when Diaz, he's covering up and he moves himself in and out to really mess with how McGregor... Oh, lovely 1-2. 1-2-3, beautiful. And a panic takedown. He's a panic wrestler. Goes to pull the guard. Oh, and then Diaz pulled guard and lovely. The Buddha fist guillotine turns him over without the old Mackenzie team. And straight into mount, and he's kept that arm. Oh, that's like a wrestling arm bar where you keep the elbow behind them. And the rear naked choke, and 1,000 memes are born from the tapping. Yeah, no, what I was saying was that last sort of few exchanges. And generally throughout the fight, Diaz does a really good job of when he covers up, he doesn't just cover up, he moves in and out. So like if you're stepping in to swing on him, he'll move into your chest. And then when you're trying to push him away, he'll move back. That's how you effectively cover up, because you need the guy's range to be wrong. You need to annoy him and put him off, rather than just, if you just offer a stationary target covering up, the guy's just going to slide punches up the middle, around the sides. He's going to piece you up. That is a good fight. That's a really good fight. And Nate Diaz comes back and gets into it a lot later than I remember him doing so. But yeah, lovely. And he tied the 5th most finishes in UFC history in that performance. Right, let's move on to our next fight. Right, fight 2 is, and I haven't done this on purpose, this is one that people asked for, but it seems that we've turned this episode into a chat shit get banged special, because that was Conor McGregor getting his comeuppance, and this one is going to be MVP versus Lima, which I'm sure, if you're at all plugged into the MMA world, you know how this one ends. But I do remember there being some interesting stuff in the fight, because, when people were like, oh, that proves MVP's not up to it, I remember being like, well, it doesn't really. I remember turning from vocal Michael Page critic to somehow Michael Page defender overnight. Obviously, Michael Page fought a lot of fucking cans, and he's gone back to it. Like, that's the Scott Coker method. It's how he built up Nick Diaz, but this is even more egregious, and everyone knows that that's the case here. But I think the annoying part was that a lot of people thought that Michael Page could be something special, and I think he's proved that he could be something special. But that's, at the moment, his career is kind of like if you did well in your leaving exams at school and then went back to being a massive waster. And you were like, yeah, but I got those A's that time. Come on, remember. So yeah, we're gonna go from 2:12. So if you want to cue that up, that is literally the moment after they dinged the bell. I pressed pause, and we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, play. MVP in his very side-on stance, he does cover distance really well, and that's something that we always were excited about him for. Lovely sidekick entering there. But really a lot of what he does is 1-2s and rear hand straights, the Gyakuzuki. I mean, he's from a point fighting background less than like a traditional karate one, but gliding in really fast is what he's good at. And you see him take a lot of those like weird classical side steps because he's so side on. One of the ways to reposition to the side quickly is to take like a step forward, basically, to where his belly is facing. And that bouncing, it's really lovely when you see it done well. Lima, obviously famous for his low kick, but great sharp left hook, booming overhand right. He left hooked with Paul Daly and won, so he's very sharp when he wants to be. If there's one criticism of Lima, it's that he can get a bit one note. He can forget that he's good at these things and he can throw one blow at a time. I think he grazed a low kick there, which was good. Page feinting high and low. Lots of the distance he covers, even on like his preparatory bounces. Timed the low kick coming in there, but almost ate the right hand as a result. I'm surprised how well MVP's taking these low kicks with his foot toed in, because that's how you get your legs swept out from under you typically. Nice side kick to the lead leg coming in there. One that I think every outside point fighty stylist really needs to know. We're always talking. That's a really nice feint that I've seen another top point fighter, one of the guys who was a peer of Michael Page, can't remember his name now, but he demonstrated that. You flick your heel and the sole of your foot up at the opponent, and they see that and go, fuck, sidekick. Nice burst in there, but lovely body shot counter by Lima. That's the thing that a lot of these guys really aren't good at and separates a karate boxer, getting out after the engagement. Nice. Well, that was Page attempting the trip and getting reversed. So, that's a bit of a mess. But what I seem to remember from this is being, a lot of people immediately went, well, he's on the floor with a black belt in BJJ, he's fucked now. And I remember being pleasantly surprised how easily, or effectively at least, he tied Lima up. Like here he's working double overhooks. He's got an overhook there and he's trying to catch behind the tricep on the right side. Like just stopping any separation. Wrist control here and an overhook. Clinching that wrist to his face. He's making it very hard for Lima to turn over elbows or to posture up and punch. And Lima's been really effective from these positions. He did some good work against, over-the-shoulder armbar position there. The razor lock, or whatever they call it. Double wrist control again. This is quite odd because you don't see guys doing double wrist control well. It's like big nog and that's it. But he's really effectively stifling Lima here. And Lima's got one foot up like he's going to try and stand, but when he did attempt it, nice slip there from MVP too. When he did attempt it, MVP pulled him in. That's all you got to do. As soon as the guy goes to step up, you just got to pull him in, knees to chest. Lima's trying to strip hands here, but he's having a real hard time doing it. Maybe he's trying to bait a triangle attempt there because, as soon as you try and do an arm push triangle, the other guy's out, basically. If you're, staring at each other, preparing to do it. I'm genuinely surprised how well. See, another pull forward at the knees there, pulled him off balance. I'm genuinely surprised how well he's doing here, and he must have really good grip strength. Because look, Lima's trying to strip his grips here. It's not like he doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. He's reaching behind. MVP's head. Look, tried to turn over an elbow there, didn't really get it. I mean, obviously MVP's very long too, which is obviously quite tricky if you just want to roll over elbows. But man, look at that. He's just crisscrossing his wrists and not letting him posture up or lean forward. Keeps holding the cap of the shoulder there. That's quite interesting. He might be... Oh, nice elbow to the body. That was Matt Hughes, BJ Penn. The one where people say that BJ Penn blew his own rib out, but conveniently ignore that Matt Hughes had been elbowing him in the body the entire time. Look how strong his wrist or his grip must be. That Lima's holding his wrist and trying to strip it and not able to. Very strange. Very strange. And a nice little elbow on the inside from MVP there. Yeah, I was just talking about how a lot of fighters who do that point fighting, bursting in stuff, don't really deal with the aftermath of it very well, because you get the point in your competition, and that's it. So you kind of overcommit to it. And like Machida was knocked out off things like that. You get the punch first, and then the other guy comes back and knocks you out. The guys who are really good at making up for that are what I call karate boxers. Like Kyoji Horiguchi always pushes out or weaves into the left hook. Here we go, round 2, and. I thought the trip was a nice attempt to cover that up. Oh, nice. That was a spazzy jumping switch kick rather. But he ended up getting taken down off his own trip, which was sad. There you go. Douglas Lima's showing you what he wants to do. Oh, nice little springing in jab there from MVP. Timing the flying knee. That was his entire takedown defense against Paul Daly. He was like, I'm going to try and flying knee you whenever you try to take me down. Oh, lovely. Oh, wow. I forgot how quick that ended. Lovely timing on the low kick. And he caught him with the bus driver uppercut coming up from the floor. And I remember I really upset some people when this happened, being like, that was incredible luck on that uppercut. Because, he'd been timing that low kick coming in like 4 or 5 times up to that point. And it worked really well that time. It started to really pay dividends. But that uppercut, the way it caught him, like he's coming up and it catches him on the side of the chin and turns his head. And it's like straight arm Douglas Lima, like really on the end of his reach. You just could never, like, that is not something he's training to land. That's nothing you could prepare for. It was just very peculiar that it ended up landing in such a way that it turned Page's head all the way around sideways and knocked him out. But the kick leading up to it, gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, if they booked the rematch, they're doing Musashi. Oh, replay. Lovely. See, entry beautiful there. And then he tries to... What is he... Oh, is it... No, this is a later occurrence. Onto the back foot and come in. Yes, he's projecting his upper body, gets kicked across himself because he's so side on at the like, below the waist. He's so side on. Oh, look at that uppercut. So side on lower body, but his upper body's squaring up to the guy, so he's almost crossing over himself already, and then he gets kicked. Look, lower body facing completely the other way to his upper body here. There, bam. Oh, see that uppercut? And people are like, no, perfect placement. You're like, no, that's just completely bizarre. That never really happens. And then, of course, I was saying I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch of this, to be honest. I mean, MVP would have to earn it. They're trying to say he's earned it by knocking out 3 scrubs. But, yeah, it actually was pretty competitive. But they're doing Lima versus Musashi for the middleweight belt instead, because that's Bellator. They're just stupid. just bollocks. But yeah, another sort of comeuppance-y story. And there was that amazing gif some guy made of him hitting him with the Thor hammer. Right, so we're going to move on to my next fight, which is one for the plebs, because I've brought the plebs in with the chat shit get owned specials and the Conor McGregor, but now we're going to switch it up on them. We're going to give them some real old school OG lightweight action. Joachim Hanson versus Yves Edwards. So to give you some background on this one, this is Pride Bushido 9, which is one of my all-time favourite events. Whenever there's like a Reddit thread, what's the best MMA event of all time? The consensus answer now is like UFC 217. But I always drop in a quick Pride Bushido 9. Pride Bushido was made to like show off the lighter weight classes, even though they'd have Krokop versus Dos Caros Jr. in the main event to just get people in. But it did mean that the Japanese could focus on the lighter weight classes. And of course, in the lighter weight classes, that was where Japan had better fighters, to be honest. You don't, aside from like Hirohiko Yoshida, there was Kazushi Sakuraba, but he was fighting giants for most of his career, and he really wasn't that size. But when you came down into the lower divisions, you got guys from Shuto, where Japan had been putting out amazing fighters for years. Like Hayato Sakurai was the pound-for-pound number one in the world for years before Pride decided to bring him in for the Bushido fight. I don't think they had him before Bushido. And he was a long-reigning Shuto champion. He lost his Shuto title to Anderson Silva. That was Anderson Silva's big win for a very long time. But in 2005... Pride, they've established the Bushido brand, obviously Bushido 9 Bushido events before that, but they'd had like some big names taking off, like Takanori Gomi. He'd been doing well there. He knocked out Half Gracie in like 3 seconds or whatever it was. But they decided to do a lightweight Grand Prix because they'd done these amazing middleweight and heavyweight Grand Prix, and they were obviously a major feature in the fight calendar. So they decided to do their lightweight Grand Prix, and their lightweight Grand Prix was phenomenal. If you don't know, Takanori Gomi ran through and won it, and he never actually fought either of these chaps. But in that Grand Prix, you had Takanori Gomi, Luis Azeredo, Hayato Sakurai, Joachim Hansen, Tatsuya Kawajiri, Eve Edwards, and Jens Pulver. And you'll notice that Jens Pulver was the UFC lightweight champion for a good while. This was and Eve Edwards was a big name coming up in the UFC lightweight division. This was after he'd head kicked Josh Thompson, and the UFC had basically cut the lightweight division because they didn't think it was a draw, and they just had this fight to decide the title that went to a draw. Was that might have been Pulver and Kaoluno 2 or something like that, but it went to a draw and it didn't decide anything. So they cut the division and didn't really revisit it until like Sean Shirk days. So you got Eve Edwards and Jens Pulver sort of representing the UFC in this tournament, which is quite interesting. Joachim Hansen had done well in Shuto. He handed Takanori Gomi his first loss in Shuto, just before Takanori Gomi fought BJ Penn. But Takanori Gomi came a long way since then, like his boxing and he found out he could hit really fucking hard on the feet, and he learned a bit of boxing, and he became a real threat. But since then, Joachim Hansen had done, he turned up at Bushido and he fought Masakatsu Imanari and knocked him out with a beautiful knee to the head, and he was getting a real reputation because he was a great grappler. I think he dominated the ADCC European trials in like 2002-3, whenever it was, but very, very scary grappler. Not amazingly slick defensively on the feet, but big hitter and could take a beating. Eve Edwards obviously much more known for being a slick striker on the feet, decent on the ground, and even at this point had a ton of fights. So we're going from 3:19, just after the bells rung. They say fight and the bell rings, and I'm going to give you time to cue that up. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, Joachim Hansen, the white guy. Eve Edwards, the black guy. Nice in-spirit shorts. They were great. I bought a few pairs of those when I was out in Japan. Nice low kick from Eve Edwards. Obviously known for kneeing people and kicking people. Whereas Joachim, more a banger. Lovely inside low kick from Eve there too. And another outside low kick. You're getting a sense of, clinch, tie up, double overhooks from Joachim. You're getting a sense that Joachim just sort of absorbs stuff on the feet. That's what he does. But very, very strong, and apparently smelled terrible. Nice inside trip as Eve Edwards was looking for his tie plum, as we used to call it back in the day, but double collar tie. Edwards using the grapevines on the ground there. Oh, now he's just got the underhook and the overhook. But apparently Joachim Hansen just used to not wash for a couple of weeks before fighting, which is, a legit tactic. Matt Lindland used to do that too. Feet on the hips. Oh, there we go. The old George St. Pierre step over. And now he's going to use his elbow to try and drive through to half guard, while Eve tries to pull his arms up and recenter. Still got like a 3/4 guard here. Joachim's going to try and step over that. Oh no, went to cartwheel to the other side. Surprised me. And I'm commentating. Now we're in sort of butterfly guard, but flattened out. Now we're back to a half guard. Yep, this is GSP style stuff. Get the elbow in there, drive it down, make him take, there you go, take half guard. Now start passing with the no hands pass to mount. Yep, cross face there. Joachim's going to try and either tripod up and knee slide or put his other foot in and start like creating room. Yep, tripoding up there a little bit. There's the foot going in. This is the no hands pass. This is a GSP special. BJ Penn rocked at it too. Good work by Yves here though. Switching to like a lockdown half guard, outside foot over. No hands pass, beautiful, all the way through. It's so hard to stop. If you let the guy inside and flatten you out. Nice knee to the head there. I forgot you could do that because we're watching Pride. Great. Eve got the arm on the inside of the thigh there. Going for mount. Yeah, if you haven't got it already, I mean, Joachim Hanson was a beast on the ground. Might have staff there on his back, but it's very much a beast on the ground. Eve punching the underhook. And, oh wow, is he able to get up? Good job, Eve. Over, under. Joachim looking for the trip. Joachim was extremely strong as a lightweight. He was just picking people up and ragdolling them. Joachim trying to trip on that far side. And succeeds. Nice. Sort of tangled up in the ropes here. Yep, this is the thing I hate about Pride. You know, it's just a pain in the arse. And every other place that uses ropes. And we're in a consolidated half again, but Eve again with the outside hook. Joachim stepping up. And we're going to have to reset because that's what you have to do every 5 seconds in Pride. It's really fucking annoying. And like people look at Pride with rose-tinted goggles. Like they go, oh, I love the ring. No, you had to do this all the time. Yeah, see how Eve's got his outside foot hooking behind the leg there rather than the inside leg. That's just an annoying way to play half guard. Links in with the lockdown stuff. Tries an underhook get up, falls to his back, but gets his feet in. And doesn't scramble up. Joachim smashes him back down to the guard. But leg press, such an important movement in guard play. And of course, in Pride, you can up kick from all positions. Kicks to the head on the ground are legal. Eve goes to sit up, starts approximating rubber guard. This was very common back in the day. Guys just grabbing their own legs, not really knowing what they were going to do with it. Bit of wrist control. Sitting up again. Joachim pushes him back down, but the feet are on the hips now. Oh, wow. Yeah, Joachim's guard passing is good fun. Double underhooks and butterfly. This could be bad for Joachim. And Eve... no, not up again. Wow. And we've forced the half guard again. Yep, that's a problem. With the underhook. Oh, lovely knee. Can he get the crossface? Yes, he's got the crossface. Shoulder of justice. Turns his head away. Look at that. Can't bridge into him if he's turning his head away. That's the reason for that. And he's tripoding up a little bit. And he's going to try and insert that foot again. Or just knee slide to the side furthest away from us. Oh, wow. Nice recovery by Eve. And using that grapevine again. Look on that left leg of Joachim's. Back to butterfly. Jumps the guard again. God, that's so good. He's so good at that. And he's gone all the way through this time. And he's mounting. And he's switched off. Oh, arm triangle choke. This, I believe, is what he caught. Did he catch Gomi with this? Well, he's coming off now. He's onto the back. Bit of a beast on the ground, like I said. Heel kick to the gut. Was it John Tuck got finished like that? Or finished someone like that? Body triangle. Oh, wow. Good work, Eve. Took the hand all the way over the head and managed to turn into him. That's one of the dangers of the back in MMA. You end up sort of like falling down onto the floor and going, I have the back, so I'm fine. And then they turn into you like Charles Oliveira has won fights by doing that. Nice body shot by Eve there from the guard. Got a 10-minute first round, of course, so might still have plenty of time to work. I'm not keeping an eye on the clock. I swear they did have a clock on them, but they took them off for these DVDs or whatever. Joachim working up on the hips. Joachim, fun guard, used to do a lot of like helicopter arm bars and shit like that. His fight with Eddie Alvarez, he's gone high guard here, over the shoulders. His fight with Eddie Alvarez, he helicopter armbar attempts Eddie Alvarez, which was great. Eve standing up in guard. You risk the double ankle sweep, but he knows it's there. He's just trying to get Joachim to open up, and he'll probably step over when Joachim tries it. Oh no, Joachim tries to upkick him instead. And Joachim's up. Oh, beautiful Superman punch into a low kick, into an uppercut combination, into a double collar tie. Absolutely. Oh, and Joachim's taking it over. And Joachim's on his back. I told you, these lads, it's so much fun. And this is a real, like, hidden gem. People don't talk about this one, because the rest of the fucking event was so good. Joachim from guard, always good fun. Hope he tries something weird, otherwise I'm just selling him for no reason here. Feet on the hips. De La Riva, I thought he was going to do something cool. Does he want him back in the guard? Edwards tries to stomp on his foot. And the referee says, get up. Back we go. Yeah, not as precise as Eve would get in his old age, but very active and fast striker. Joachim not nearly so quick normally. And he makes an effort to avoid punches, but he's not very good at it, as you can see. Oh, he did have good body kicks and knees especially. I think it was Luis Azeredo he knocked out with like a knee to the head disguised as a body kick. Lovely double low kick there from Eve Edwards if you didn't see that. And a flying knee. I think he went inside outside or outside inside. Very cool to do that. Brandon Thatch used to do that. Oh, here we are, double collar tie. Lovely pick up of the leg. It looked like Eve was picking his leg up to stop the knees there to make some space, like Muay Thai style. And Joachim said, no, I'm having that. I'm going to attack a single leg. Trying to run the pipe. Switches off to the double. Oh, that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous. And Eve's holding his own foot again. Not quite sure what he's going to do with this, but maybe he goes somewhere. Joachim's hands are on the mat, which is where you start going for the omoplata like this. Yeah. You don't want your hands on the mat if you're playing guard, because he's put himself into the omoplata there, but he's out. And they're up again. Oh, that trip. Oh, he's doing so well chaining those trips with like takedown attempts, because Eve really was smashing people from the double collar tie at the time. They called him the dentist for a little while because he was knocking guys' teeth out. Eve with the double underhooks, but oh wow. Is that a break or is that the end of the round? Fucking hell, that was a not very patient Yuji Shimada. Both guys getting a little bit tired because obviously high pace, very technical, and a 10-minute round, which is a fucking monster to try and get through. Lovely low kick. Edwards has just been landing low kicks for free, basically, at this point. And an eye poke. They didn't used to happen in the old days, we thought. And especially with the Pride gloves, because they curled the fingers or whatever. But no, it is weird. When you go back and watch old fights, they just didn't happen as much as they do. Now, that is. Back into the action. Nice. That lead uppercut's been working nicely for Edwards too. I like it because... see that stepping knee. And the trip again. He tries the trip and he tries to pick it up as a single if the trip fails. Oh, that was a bad throw attempt. And Joachim's on the bottom. Knee shield, very deep knee shield, all the way through to his other hip, see? That's really, that'll get you past a lot of the time. But a very, stiff barrier for the opponent to try and get through. And that's the end of the round. Well, I hope you're enjoying this one as much as me, because I was fucking singing the praises of this fight, and it's living up to the hype that I gave it. Oh, arm triangle attempt. Straight to the back as Eve turns into it. Yeah. If you don't know Hellboy, what are you doing with your life? Because he was a fucking monster. There's the knees. He landed a few. You're seeing that Joachim, he did just get pushed down, but Joachim's looking a lot stronger in the clinches. Like, Edwards will get the clinch, start using the double collar tie, and Joachim will just grab him around the outside of it and go, no, this is my collar tie now. Yeah, I think Joachim Hanson was a trucker, and he used to keep like a full trucking schedule in Norway, and the Scandi countries, and still fight as a world-class fighter on the weekends. Had a stroke a couple of years ago. Really sad. I think he trains fighters now. I think. Round 2, glove touch. Inside low kick from Keem. Doesn't really land very well. You can see there's just sort of a lag in his reaction times compared to how fast Yves is. Also, Yves, lovely low kick. Yves working really well in combinations and distractions, lots of jabs. Jab lead uppercut he's been using really well in this one. But look, Keem just grabs him and says, no, I'm having your head now. And he's around the outside there, and he's still pulling him around. Nice low kick again from Edwards. Good jab. Low kick again. Keem's approximation of head movement is fun. Lovely body shot. Man, he's really making him look very, basic on the feet here. But then when they hit the mat, it was largely just Hanson attacking. Beautiful counter body shot there from Yves Edwards there too. This was a great tournament for body shots because basically Takanori Gomi's run through the tournament was body shots and being in great shape. Another nice knee attempt from Keem there. Really lovely stepping knees and knees when guys are level changing. He's so good at that. Knocked out Kaoluno and then threw his mouthpiece into the crowd and hit Kaoluno's mum, apparently, with a knee. That's why that story was being told. Look at that. Just gets inside position on the double collar tie. And Edwards is getting to the inside, but it's still like Hanson is the one threatening the knees. And again, like these double overhooks, he seems to be the attacker, even though he's in the worst position. Getting that outside leg, or outside trip, rather. Digging for the underhook there a little bit. Yves using the body lock. Oh, nice trip by Yves. Really nice stuff. I was just thinking, is Yves, you've either got to suck your hands back and separate or commit to attacking. And Yves forcing the half guard. And Keem switching to the butterfly hook there, cheeky, on the outside leg there. And punches the underhook. And is going to replace full butterfly guard. Yep, there you go. That's how you answer that. And up, oh, beautiful, and into the trip. That's John Satava is amazing at that. Get double underhooks from butterfly guard, use it to come up and attempt to take the guy down. Bit of a scramble here, and Keem ends up on top. And he's doing almost a single underhook pass, but now we're back to closed guard. And break. Oh, okay, back into the middle of the ring. That's what's happening. I was just about to say, what? Nothing has happened. Well, no, not nothing has happened. Things are constantly happening. Why are you restarting them? But fair play. Keep it away from the edge of the ring. That's what they don't do in Rising. Rising, they just fucking let the guys lean on the ropes the entire time. Koji Horiguchi was wall-walking up the ropes the entire time. And it was working, but it was also like 1 in every 2 attempts, they'd both fall through. So you had to have dudes there pushing them in by the arse. Nice! So good with his legs. In half guard, got the head and arm, not even the... Oh, now he's back to the crossface. Put the foot in. He's about to do the no-hands pass again. He's just got to get off his knees, take his bum out the floor, as Mario Sperry would say. And just got a little bit too ambitious trying to pass the side control there. And he's going to the other side now. Edwards on the Kimura. Ooh. There is a counter Kimura there, possibly, or a counter armbar even. Oh, tries to stomp the head instead. Love it. That's good use of these rules. I thought he was going to go for the Sakuraba style run around counter armbar, or Matt Hughes versus GSP, but instead he just stomped straight down on Yves' face. Good back control there. Stopped himself falling over the top. And he's let his hooks out to suplex him and mat return him. Lovely. Steps over. He's getting the back knee as transition. Oh, that's so good. Look at those short knees just in there. I mean, I'm trying not to jizz myself too hard over Keem Hanson here, but he's so much fun. And there are guys competing under these rule sets who are not doing the same level of creativity, even now, with the knees and stuff. Tries another suplex mat return, gets him back to his knees at least. Joachim was amazing at rolling back takes too, so don't be surprised if you see one of those. Into a leg drag position here, and Joachim moves around to the back again with the body lock. Stepping over, just sort of dragging him back. And is that the end? Do we have more than one? No, it seems like that's the end. There's that Kimura attempt. Trying to throw the leg over the head. Joachim stops the leg going over the head. Gets his leg out. Runs around. Stomps on or tries to stomp on his head instead, like it. And here's the souffle. Or at least, half souffle. And back to the mat. Lovely. And we got our decision. Joachim's wearing in-spirit shorts too. They were so cool back in the day. I don't know if they still make shorts. Maybe they do. But they were one of my purchases when I was in Japan. I just bought a load of them. Loved them. Really, they run really small though for like Westerners. And Joachim gets the win. And of course he went on in that tournament to fight Hayato Sakurai in the next round, I think. And Sakurai knocked him out. But amazing fighter. If you've never seen any Joachim Hansen except this, watch more Joachim Hansen. He was a monster. He just didn't like the UFC personally. He said something about like rather go to hell than bend over for the UFC or something like that. But he had a really good run and he was one of the top lightweights in the world for a very long time. I'd planned to do the Polo Hayes versus Donghyun Maestro Kim fight for the fourth fight on the bill today, but while I've been here, since I've refreshed the page, the UFC has uploaded Matt Brown versus Eric Silva, which is a banger and also has tons of awesome technique in, and one that I haven't watched in a while. So, yeah, that'll help me feel better about Matt Brown's last fight the other night. Let's watch that. So we're at 30 seconds, almost exactly, just after Herb Dean's clapped his hands and said, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Matt Brown runs out to the centre of the cage and is already putting the pressure on Eric Silva, who's very side-on, looking for side kicks. Brown's already closed on him with the high kick into the punching flurry. Silva gets the body lock, tries to pick him up. Quick knee to the groin there. And he's over. And, beautiful reversal by Brown. Straight into side control. Silva up on the underhook. And they break. Wow, that's a fast start. Eric Silva tries to punch back with a 1-2. Now, Silva does a lot of stance switching, lots of spinning kicks and shit like that. Beautiful body kick there. And Brown's plan is obviously to stay close. And wow, beautiful body kick. Knocks Brown down. Brown's plan is obviously to stay close to prevent the kicking and to keep backing Silva up. But he's getting Donkey Konged right here on the mat. Kicks out, turns his back. Harness from Silva. Got one hook in. He's got both hands over. That's typically a way to let someone get out. But Matt Brown does not look healthy here. Going to look to change off to like the down 7 grip. Typically when you put both hands over, you lose a bit of control over the guy. You want to have one under, one over. Brown walking on the fence. Not accomplishing a whole lot with it. There you go, hand over the head. He's going to try and turn back into him or put his back to the mat and slide over. Silva's doing a good job of digging him back. Brown 2 hands on 1, making it hard for him to choke him. Though the other hand sneaking through now. But you've got to think all of this this is what Matt Brown would rather be doing than being hit because he's recovering from a body shot. However, Silva looks close on it here. Yeah, 7 grip behind the shoulder with both hands rather than crook of the bicep and behind the head. Brown peeling the hands well. And he's going to try and pass that hand over his head again. And is he going to turn into him towards his left? Or is he going to bridge back into him and try and get his hips to the floor? Silva's got the body triangle, but it looks right on his toes there. Quite hard work to maintain that. Silva switching off. I was going to say switching off to an armbar, but now he's sort of sitting up and he's losing his control of Brown a little bit here. All over the arm, that's not good for Brown. That's 2 arms versus 1, which you never want. Brown's got his arm back. That's good. And 2-on-1 for Brown again. He's going to try and pass that arm over his head. And if he doesn't manage to escape, he's at least making it much harder to choke him. Looks like he's got his breath back a bit now. That was, heel kick to the abdomen, not a bad idea. And he's also caught the arm now. Brilliant work by Silva. But Brown's out. Lovely. Quick scramble, gets up, secures the underhook immediately, and straight back to work on his own terms. Knee to the body, beautiful. Elbow, knee to the body again. And a nice little trip attempt. This is Matt Brown at his best. Beautiful straight right. Knees to the head. This is what Matt Brown was so good at, just not giving the guy the space to work. Beautiful head post and more elbows. Just gets inside the body kick there. Silva needs space and time, time and measure. That's what we're always talking about as the foundation of technique. Matt Brown excels in these very, very short, frantic-paced fights. He looks better technically in these than he does when he steps back and kickboxes. And he uses those round kicks really well to cut off the escape. They're not designed to, they're not meant to land. They're just meant to land on the guy's shoulder, and then Brown can come in behind it. Beautiful trip. Lovely. Well, foot sweep almost. Knee to the body on the mat. We love that. Uppercut. Knee to the head again. Elbow. Can you see why I was raving about this fight? Lovely knee. And another trip. That's the Sasai Surikomi Ashi, or the Muay Thai trip. Just block the foot, sweep him round. Bundles him over with a quick stack pass. Kick to the body. Up elbow. Another up elbow. Knee. This is so good. This is lovely left hook. See, now Silva is swinging wild almost to get Matt Brown off him. And Matt Brown always looks really quite measured and refined when he's going nuts in these exchanges. Lovely right straight. Uppercut left hook. Left body shot left. Triple up the left hook. Ducks under. It's like when he gets going, he's just levels above what he normally is as a kickboxer, as a technician, and then he takes a step back, like you see him in those fights with like Robbie Lawler, and the other night against Baeza, he did amazingly when he stayed on Baeza, but as soon as he got clipped, he was like, I'll take a step back, reassess, and suddenly he was getting outstruck again. Man, this whole fight is just a highlight reel, basically. I love that long palm down left hook behind the elbow. That's another Golovkin's favourite. We've mentioned a couple today. Brown's already on him from the get-go of round 2. That right straight. Lovely right knee. Silva doesn't really have a choice. He's either got to be running or setting himself up to strike, and then he gets caught. He's not very good at striking on the move. Whoa, beautiful. Backed him up and hit him with a body kick. Brown can't keep backing up. He's got to get in his face again. There you go. Nice cross check. Another spinning back attack. Nice right straight. Now, there we go. Brown needs to get back on offense at all costs. Here we go. That's more like it. Lovely low kick. Those right kicks really serve to cut Silva off as he moves around to the right. Collar tie knee and another one and an up elbow. Just tremendous. And even here, Silva should be backing off and leaving or staying really tight. He can't fuck around in this middle distance. He's going to get elbowed again. No, he isn't there. Decent left hand there. Tripling up the left hook again. Don't you love it? Wild swing by Silva. Uppercut right straight. Beautiful combination punching and a knee. Matt Brown is how we all see ourselves fighting if we got attacked. If someone came at me now, I'd hit him with 8 or 9 punches. He works like that in these fights. It's incredible. High kick very close there. Eric Silva almost got a haircut, which he could use, the goddamn hippie. Right straight down the centre. So, see, Silva's almost turning his back. That's how side-on he normally fights in his stance, because he likes to set up those side kicks and back kicks. But it's not working well from here. And he also really struggles to circle out the other way because he's so reliant on like the classical sidestep. He steps out to his left and sort of runs like that. He doesn't really go to his right at all, which is especially odd in like a Southpaw versus Orthodox matchup. Beautiful parry. That was the Jorge Masvidal, Donald Cerrone one there. Parry it across, goes to the left hook. Beautiful body shot. Oh, and he gets hit. Oh, that was Pete Spratt. What's it called? It's Spratt and Cell. That's what that reminded me of there. Beautiful knee pick by Matt Brown, immediately into the pass and straight into the crucifix. That shouldn't happen against fighters of Eric Silver's level. That is tiredness and frustration and being beaten up. Getting his hips down on the arm there, very Habib style. Man, he's walked his elbows all the way up. That's the shit that, you know, your black belt coach will do to you in jiu-jitsu, and sit there. And we're back. He's going to go for the top side reverse triangle here. And punching between the legs, again, something Habib does all the time. He's going to look for the Kimura on the far side here, it looks like. Yep, get the right arm through. Hooking up the Kimura grip. So he's going to have a crucifix as Silver turns up into him here. Oh no, he's on the front headlock. Oh, folding him down, going for the Darce. Silver's gone all the way to his back. That's a way to stop the Darce being as effective. If you turn all the way flat to your back, he wants you up on his side, on your side rather. Oh, knee to the body as he mounts. Lovely. That reminded me of Joachim Hansen in that fight we literally just watched. Oh, beautiful elbow from the top. Punches from mount. Silver hammer fisting back. That's just not going to work. It doesn't work outside of heavyweight in like the 90s. Of course, the problem is that you do hit a lot of elbows here. Once you've walked his elbows up so high that basically only his head and his elbows are outside of your hips. Oh, nice armbar attempt. Silver hitchhikes up into it. Triangle. Man, that's surprisingly tight. Oh, I think he might, yeah. Underhooking the leg because Silver's standing up. Going to probably try and switch to the armbar. You can turn the thumb out, like Koti Gaeshi style. You can probably make more of the armbar. Or push it outside his hip, get it across his hip. But Silver's head, gone. Silver needs to just lay on him here because he looks absolutely spent. Taking an ass kicking will do that to you. Like, that's not a comment on Silver's cardio, which was always sort of suspect. Ooh, octopus guard. There's a rare one to see in the wild. And we're back down to closed guard again. It's going for the razor arm lock. Short elbow. Matt Brown never really landed an awful lot of elbows from his back that I recall. He was always good off his back, but he was so active with his elbows in the stand-up and then didn't really do him from the floor. You know, lots of guys like Tony Ferguson, you know, they gravitate to that shit. Excellent round for Matt Brown. Just put a beating on him. You know, this was still Eric Silver being seriously considered as a prospect, you know. I mean, we're at the point where it's a bit of a meme. You're like, that young Eric Silver who's 35 or something. Oh, that body shot. And that one from Silver, in fairness. But Silver just, like, he was phenomenal, but didn't really strike in combination very well. Needed to get set to do his spins and shit. Kind of like Uriah Hall, you know. If you give him space and you slowly, timidly walk towards him, he's going to time you. If you get in his face and you don't give him the opportunities to get set, or Edson Barbosa, another one, you know, you can run him ragged. Edson Barbosa is actually a better example. Oh, that right straight is so nice. You throw it just in front of your right shoulder. It's how you catch them as they're circling off to your right. Another left hook behind the elbow there. Oh, right uppercuts to the body. Roy Jones used to be amazing at that. Oh, look at that back fist. He'd let the guy walk out to his right and he'd catch him with the right straight just as they moved in front of his right shoulder. You see how he's throwing it in front of his right shoulder instead of down the center towards his own center line, like you would have to if you were fighting someone directly in front of you? Underhook, is he going to knee pick him again? He tried, and he looks like it almost got to the back. Slowing down for a fraction of a second here, but nice elbow from the top by Brown. More elbows. See, this is what we were talking about. Just wrist control in a fist fight is so hard. The guy will just keep turning over the elbows on your head. And the can opener grip is always super helpful in MMA too. And he had wrist control then, and he just pulled his hand back and punched him in the face with the wrist still held. You just generally don't have an awful lot of control there. Foot on the hip from Eric Silver. I've seen Silver do some fun guard stuff even after this fight, actually. He was pendulum sweeping people and setting up arm bars and stuff. He was pretty underrated from his back. Oh, but those suck to take. Jump to triangle, not going to catch him with that. Triangles so rarely work at the highest levels now. because guys just know to slip their shoulders out and go. That was the Fedor Nog special. Yeah, it looks like Silver's done here. He looks like he's just exhausted himself. He's not going to be able to fight back. Yeah, done. Oh, knee to the kidney by Matt Brown. That is just the perfect Matt Brown performance. I wrote an article about that on Fightland. I think it was called fucking Chuck Liddell robot thing. Can't remember what it was called, like drowning someone. It was all about drowning, and there were some Outlaws of the Marsh allusions in there too. But just a marvellous showing. I can't rave about Matt Brown enough. We're going to have to do some more of his fights on this. Right, now I'm going to switch over to some other fights for the Patreon boys. If you aren't a Patreon boy and you want to get in on that, sign up to the Patreon. If you are a Patreon boy, click the link in the description. We're going to be talking about Aldo versus Mendes 2. All-time banger, that. I mean, Chad Mendes never looked better. And Aldo looked as good as he ever looked. And I'll be hitting you with some other top fighters you haven't thought of in a while, or maybe you didn't even know. If you're not a Patreon boy, I will be back for the podcast, and we'll do another one of these again soon. I'm your boy Jack Slack. Cheers.